you made me think about that the number one person, maybe, I may be wrong. Rob, if you want to pull up this article, if we were to say who is the number one person that wants the war to continue, could be Zelensky, because Zelensky just recently said that there would be no elections until the war is over with. And by the way, this was verified by Snopes. If you want to go to Snopes, I know some of our friends are watching this, go all the way to the bottom. It says true. So he probably doesn't want the war. I mean, you got a monopoly. If the war continues, he's going to be able to stay in power for as long as possible. And maybe he's already had Ben Stiller that came and visited him. He's had Sean Penn, I believe, that spent some time with him. Who knows, at this pace, he may get De Niro, he may get Pacino, he may get a lot of different Hollywood celebrities show up and nicer documentaries. I think the sweaters are becoming higher quality sweaters. You know, they're maybe a sponsorship by, Saks Fifth. I don't know, maybe Balenciaga. Some of these guys can do stuff with them. But he also probably doesn't want the war to stop. I know it's a very strange, paranoid way of looking at it, but there are many situations like that where when there's controversy, even here, sometimes when a war is going on, we kind of typically tend to reelect the same person because we're worried about the mess that's going on. Do you think there's an element of him wanting the war to continue?
The population of Ukraine at the beginning of this war was 30.5 million, at least officially, that's what they said. If you go back into the 90s, it was well over 50 million. Ukraine has been losing population for a long time because it's a failed state. It's a terribly corrupt and dysfunctional society. That was true long before Zelensky showed up. The war has made matters worse. So now you're down to, we think, between 18 and 20 million people still living in Ukraine.
Wait, from 30.5 million to, can you verify?
34.5 million.
So that's smaller in California now.
Can you look this up, Rob? Okay, so I see the 50 million. That I totally see, the population from 45 in 2013 to 44 in 2020 to 41. Where's the state? The camera's hiding it, sir. So can you come up a little bit, Rob, so I can see it? Go, okay, 2022, 38.
Just under the 38 line, Pat.
So can you Google Ukraine population today? Oh my God, if that's the case.
Well, I don't know that their data has caught up with reality. These are the numbers that are coming out of Europe.
Well, it's 21, 2 years from now. So you're saying if that can be verified.
I don't think it was that high in 2021. I think that's an exaggeration. Because Ukrainians have been leaving forever. I mean, I'm sure you travel. I've been on business in London and Vienna.
Sure.
And inevitably, I end up talking to someone who's Ukrainian. And they speak perfect English. They're well educated. And I say, well, good Lord, what are you doing here in London? And they always say, well, I can't make a living in Ukraine. I can't survive there. You got to become part of some mob boss's structure if you want to get anywhere. I don't want to do that. And then, of course, I've said, well, why don't you come to the United States? And they say immediately, I can't get in, I say, so you're a Ukrainian, you're well-educated, you speak English, you're obviously smart, and we can't get you in. And, we ran this stupid thing called a lottery for years. Every month, two people's names were pulled out in a European capital. It's just ridiculous. We could have had this guy in the United States where he could have been very productive. That's another story. But my point is, I don't think that original number of 41 is accurate at all. I think there were several million who had already left because they saw no future for themselves. Remember, this also counts Ukrainians, citizens who are overseas. Wow. They include them, but they're gone. They're never going to go back. In Germany,
So this is also the expat workforce? Mm-hmm. So this really isn't representing...
No. And I've got friends in Germany right now who are telling me, and they've got Ukrainians arriving by the train load every day. And they've told me that in their conversations with Ukrainians, every single person says, I will never go back.
By the way, I found this article, Rob, if you want to pull this up, because this is, can you pull up this article I just sent you, what it shows? So 1990, it says it was 51 million. Then a few months ago, it says it was 36 million. And then if you pull up this article, this says, I don't know what this organization is, TASS. Pull up that article right there and go up a little bit according to a think tank. Zoom in. According to a think tank, since the start of hostilities in Ukraine last February, 8.6 million people have left the country and have not returned.
I would say that's wrong. What I'm getting from my European sources in Poland and Germany is that it's over 12 million and climbing every day.
And I think TASS is kind of Russian Reuters controlled by the government. Is that correct?
Oh, I would assume so. Well,
Got it. So this is a Russian site as well. Okay, got it. Well, I mean, if these numbers are accurate, people are leaving. You also saw the article that came out that people from Russia were also leaving. How much has the Russian population lost the last 12 months?
I think they lost a few 100,000 that left as soon as it became clear there was going to be a war. And frankly, a lot of the Russians that have said when they've been asked about, good, let's get them out of here, they don't really want to be Russians anyway, the hell with them.
That's more their mindset.
Yeah.
Interesting. Russians sees historic population.
But remember that at least 2 million Russians who were in Ukraine have moved to Russia.
Can you go a little lower? Rob, I don't know where you just went. You were good where you were at. Rob, what'd you do? You just did some magic there, buddy. You went, okay, there you go. Russia sees historic population drop, sparing demographic crisis amid war in Ukraine. Russia to need up to 1 million immigrants a year for 8 years to maintain current population levels. Go a little lower to see what else the article says. Keep going lower. Not the video. Keep going lower. But Western defense officials have estimated that as many as 250,000 Russian soldiers have been dead in Ukraine. It was 1 million. So particularly Putin's...
yeah, but this is BS. It's just not true. These are fabricated numbers. They're just not true. The Russians haven't taken those kinds of losses. And I mean, I confront this all the time.
This is Fox News saying this. So
yeah, well, they're all part of it. They're all singing the same tune. These narratives are cooked up in London by MI6 and in Langley by the CIA.
Why would they lie about these stats? I trust me, I'm the same person that doesn't trust.
They're trying to get you to believe that Ukraine is winning. Ukraine has never been winning. Ukraine cannot win. That's why Orban, the president of Hungary, came out just recently in the last 24 hours and says there's no chance for the Ukrainians to win at all. Anybody who's on the ground over there knows the truth. They're finished. The Russians haven't lost that kind of numbers. They've lost maybe 40,000 dead, maybe.
Colonel, normally, you'll say people are 50-50 on this. I don't even know if people are 50-50. I listened to Mark Levin give a emotional speech about this himself, about how he feels about Putin. I don't know if you've seen this one or not, or where he's at. I think this is an argument where 80% of the population, I may be wrong, the number may be closer to 70%, 80% of the population is closer defending Ukraine, and they see Russia as the bully in America.
It's very easy to make people think that because, as I said from the very beginning, the hangover from the Cold War. And remember that the population in New York City, of which Mr. Levin is one, is very much in favor of everything from open borders to endless war with Russia to permanent war in the Middle East against whomever. So, I mean, I don't take anything that comes out of New York City very seriously.
Happy 4th of July to you. We have a special event that's coming up with Tom Brady, Mike Tyson, and Will Guidara in Miami, Vol Conference. It'll be August 30th to September 2nd. This weekend for 4th of July, we're running a special. Buy one, get one free. Bring your spouse, bring your business partner, bring your running mate. If you haven't yet registered, click on a link below or above. Get registered. Looking forward to spending 3 days with you in Miami.